Man, imagine walking into work at 9 o'clock thinking you about to clock in and they pull you into a meeting and then at 10:15 you headed home because you just got laid off. It is happening all of the time, and I want to make sure that we have a conversation about what you need to do now that you're laid off. I did a video before that talked about, signs to look out for so you could be prepared. But y'all ignored me and didn't think I was talking to you. But, I was. So now what you gonna do? I had been laid off. Oh my God. I got laid off in slow motion in 2019. They told us like 6 months in advance, but that's a little bit different. But the emotional impact was still there no matter what. And I'm going to do a video next, and then I guess this series is turning into about, your emotions once someone has broken up with you. Your employer has broken up with you. But for all intents and purposes, today we're talking about you laid off, now what? So the reality of it is, I remember when I graduated from college, they told us it would take us about 6 months to find a job. And that's kind of the scenario that you need to be forecasting whenever somebody gives you the pink slip. You need to be thinking, what do I do? How am I going to, over the next 180 days, next 6 months, next, 13 pay periods, something like that, if you get paid twice a month, what are you going to do for money? Because despite what Instagram tells people, you need to probably work to get some money. So thing number one, and it's going to sound kind of radical when I say it, do nothing. I would say that you need to take some time for yourself, and I ain't saying a lot of time, but you need to decompress because you're going to have a whole lot of emotions and things flowing through you. Some people, that's why they walk them up out the building, because somebody might want to go to their trunk, come back, and make sure don't nobody else get home either. So you want to decompress. You want to just take a moment, breathe, and think clearly, and actually sit in those feelings for a minute, because as much as people like the rah rah rah, I don't care about my job, F this job, yeah, it don't feel so good when they actually tell you that they no longer need you. So sit in those feelings for a minute, just for a minute, couple days, until you can start to think clearly without a whole lot of emotions clouding whatever your next steps are going to be. Because the reality of it is, this could be your opportunity to pivot and completely change your life. One thing that I was thinking about last year, I got thrown into a different career change. I think a lot of y'all might know I was in a call center setting. I was still a loan officer, but they came to me at the last company I worked for, and on a Zoom call, and they were all smiles like it was this is gonna be a great opportunity. And for about 20-30 minutes I was in my feelings. I'm lying. For about 3 or 4 hours I was really deep in my feelings about what they were saying to me, because I didn't think I had done anything wrong. But this ain't about me. The point I'm making is, what I immediately decided to do was, let me change my perspective. Instead of thinking this is something that is happening to me, maybe this is something that is happening for me. And thank God I was able to pivot and change my perspective, because I love the blessings that God has allowed to come into my life as a result of God ordering my steps and basically tearing something apart that I was not willing to tear apart myself. I ain't gonna get all holy roly and whatnot. I'm just telling y'all, I really appreciate it a whole lot, and maybe that's the way that you should start looking at things too, if that is your scenario. So I was saying it might take you like 6 months to find a job. You need to figure out, what is your financial strategy? What financial levers can you pull? Do you have a 401k? And I'm not saying that that's your first stop, but just take a mental assessment of, what can I do to make sure that I'm able to sustain my house payment, my car payment, rent, whatever it is. Because side note, and I can talk about this in depth too, the process of foreclosure, you be back to work by the time they foreclose on your house. You miss your rent payment, baby, you out before the next payment is due. So that's just something to think about. You might need to file for unemployment. Every state is a little bit different. You might have, 12 weeks or so where you can pull money from the state, $300 or $400 every single week. I mean, it's helpful, but, I wouldn't count on it. You guys think, do you need to get a roommate to help cover some of those bills that you have? What financial levers can you pull? Can mom and dad help out? My mama ain't helping me buy lunch, okay? So that was not gonna be an option for me. I don't know. You need to figure out your financial strategy. Where are you going to get money from legally, of course? And make sure that you are paying as much as you can on time, because what you don't want to happen is that you finally figure out what you want to do and your next job requires a credit pool, and now you messed up your credit because you couldn't pay your bills and you can't get that job. It's a vicious cycle. I think it's terrible, but it is something that could potentially happen to you. While you sitting at home, I would strongly recommend evaluate, are you even on track for the goals that you once had? Because like I said earlier, you could turn your mindset into something that's saying, let me take advantage of this opportunity. Maybe it's a great time for you to enroll in school. Not none of these .com courses, .net, let me scam you out your money so I can tell you how you can illegally get money.com. None of that, okay? Actual school, accredited places, institutions where they have books that have been written by scholars, where your jobs that you are going into will recognize your new skill set that you have attained during your time off. You guys, please, 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 please think about what you want next and position yourself accordingly. Look at your skill set. What have you done in the past? What do you want to do moving forward? If you need help with writing a resume, you can, I don't mean to say it like this because I just said that you need to hold on to your money, but you could get some help with getting a professional resume writer to rewrite your resume so they can assess your skill sets and write a new resume, not just based on the jobs that you had in the past, but the actual skills that you've gleaned from the job that you have been performing over the last 2 or 3 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, or however long you've been in the workforce. The other thing is, a lot of people don't realize that you can get a career counselor. It is a whole thing. A career counselor is not just for someone in high school or someone who is in college. There are career counselors that you can literally go onto their sites, schedule a time and say, hey, I was a journalism major, I was on television and radio, and now I want to be a famous YouTuber. And they'll be like, ooh, okay, well, that might be a little out of their realm. But however, they're going to tell you what you need to do, how to position yourself, and help ease you down that path. So think very clearly and strategically about what you want out of this wonderful opportunity that you have been blessed with. If you're doing all of that, or you want to stay in your current job role, like I'm a loan officer, like I'm a die being a loan officer, anything like that, what I would suggest that you do is go on LinkedIn, start building relationships with people on some of these sites where you know that they're hiring, like Indeed, LinkedIn. I'm surprised to find out how many people don't have LinkedIn profiles. And I'm talking about like professional people. When I was a teacher, I didn't have a LinkedIn page. I didn't need one. What is the LinkedIn page for? All I gotta do is go to the school system that I want and apply. Like, it was no need to have one. So set up a LinkedIn profile, get on there, start emailing people, calling people, inviting people out for coffee. People love to talk about themselves. I remember when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after I was teaching, I went on LinkedIn and I was looking, and I'm scrolling, and I was like, who look like they got a lot of money? I am telling you, ask questions. That's why they have those profiles there. They want to be approached. Recruiters are all on LinkedIn. You have never had so much access to recruiters in your life. So you know that when your resume goes out or your job application goes out, it doesn't just disappear into the ether like it did when I was in school. I remember we used to have some called like hotjobs.com and what was it, monster.com. The jobs would be like, you want to sell knives this summer? But we're past that now. So please think something about what do you want to do next, and start setting yourself up to be in alignment with those people. Where do they frequent? Find free events so you can mix and mingle with the people that could potentially hire you for your next job. Call your past co-workers. See if they're hiring at their jobs. Hopefully you weren't the person that brought fried fish in the break room and heated it up every week, because they might not want to talk to you no more. Please think about who you've had strong relationships with in the past, and you want to leverage those relationships moving forward. Y'all, I'm not done with my list yet, but I was just thinking about it. Like, if you have been laid off in the past, think about some of the things that you've done that helped in your transition. Drop down in the comments and let us know what are some of the things that helped you out, because I mean, this is my list. It's not 100% bulletproof, but I do think it is something that's beneficial. Let me know what I'm leaving out. Share your stories, because like I said in a prior video, it could be a really lonely place sometimes. Hey, you never know. I mean, you might be able to offer somebody a job that's looking. So network in the comments, please. The next thing, and most important, one of the most important things, the first things that I think you should do, and I should probably mention this a little bit earlier, call your creditors. Get on the phone, call these people, and let them know that your income is going to slow down, and that your income, you know, you might be late. You don't want to be late. Set yourself up for success by telling the truth and being honest with your creditors. During COVID, remember, they let everything pause. That was a little, you know, special situation. Obviously, it was something that had never happened before. It was unprecedented. However, some of these companies, not all of them, some of these companies have kept some of those processes and protocols in place because they found that it set everybody up for success. They weren't, well, I think they tried to get people. I ain't gonna lie to you, but in this particular scenario now, they are trying to be more helpful than hurtful when it comes to the impact of a late payment with your credit. So reach out to your creditors, see what it is that they may be able to offer you, what type of smaller payments you might be able to make. Maybe you can skip a payment. A lot of times car payments will allow you to skip once a year, I believe, as long as it's not a lease. But there are some opportunities that are out there for you. So please reach out to the creditors to try to take advantage of some of these things. Two important things is your resume. If you don't hire a resume writer, you might need to YouTube and Google up how to write resumes, because I have seen some god-awful resumes. I'm just being honest. Like, the resume writing skill set is trash. A lot of people don't seem to understand that you need to tailor your resume to the job you are asking for. If in the resume, if in the job requisite, it says that they are looking for someone with strong writing skills, great communication skills, you should not have your resume talk about how you was a break dancer in the background of, you know, Chris Brown's video. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Your resume and job history or skills, because there are multiple types of resumes that are out there, should align with whatever it is that you're telling this person on paper you want to be paid for. And if those two things do not align and you're not hitting those keywords in that search engine, you are not going to be found, and it is going to take a longer time for you to find a job. So spend that extra 20 minutes revamping your resume to match up with whatever the verbs are and whatever the skills are that they're asking for in that job rec. I'm not saying copy it verbatim, but it should mirror everything that they're asking for. If they say they want somebody that has a master's degree and you don't have a master's degree and you got a GED, I ain't saying don't apply. I'm just saying, well, I just said it. Moving on. So the last thing is, you guys have to think about when you are off and you all of a sudden you got all of this time on your hands. Don't be out going to lunch and fool out lying around at the mall. If you have extra money, like, I mean, you know, I'm assuming that in the case you saved all your money and you're going to be financially okay for a little while. Don't squander your time. Y'all, these hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months in a blink of an eye. We are at the end of 2022. It went by in 3 blinks, honestly. I mean, super, super quick. You need to schedule out your time every single day. Allocate time each and every day to look for a job. Because the one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is looking for a job is a full-time job in and of itself. So do not squander your time. Wake up, have a schedule, ready to go, have a quota that you're trying to meet. I'm going to apply for 5 different jobs today. Set up time in your schedule. Get up, exercise, eat breakfast, whatever. Take the kids to school. Okay, I'm back home. It's 9 o'clock. From 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I'm going to research. You might take that opportunity to try and find some free courses on LinkedIn or Google or anything to be able to put on your resume to enhance the skills that you already have from your prior jobs. As you're doing that, the next half of your day might be, okay, these are the 3 or 4 jobs that I found, the 5 jobs that I found. Now you need to take an extra 20 or 30 minutes and type up whatever that particular job rec is asking for and making sure that that resume matches that. Figure out your follow-up strategies. What are you going to do to follow up on these jobs that you have applied for? All of that should be scheduled out throughout the course of your day, so you make sure that you are proactively doing all that you can to make sure that you are not going 13 pay periods without any money. Y'all, I've experienced having to be on food stamps before. I have experienced not having any money, crying, I mean, from the depths of my soul. I don't want that for anybody, but like I said, when we come into a recession, people do lose their jobs and they do get laid off. So if that is your scenario, I am deeply sorry for you, but I assure you that this is temporary. You will definitely make it through it, and you will be better for it, because if he'll bring it to you, well, if God will bring you to it, he'll bring you through it. And I believe that with all my heart and in my soul. So y'all, if you got anything out of this message, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you know anyone that's going through this, please share this with them so they have some words of encouragement and know what to do next steps. Y'all have a great day.